welcome to OnyxEarth Tarot. Everything you need to know about me is in the description box below. So we are back with another viewer's choice pick a card reading. The poll winner of the non-love reading was what's draining your energy and how to recharge. Now this is a good one. It's very useful, very valuable information. I may pick a pile. Like these are my favorite types of readings. I know it's not y'all's, but it's my favorite type of reading. So I'm going to, like, honestly, I just want to share that it took me like 3 attempts to like film this intro. Like, I don't know why I'm doing so bad. I feel like that's kind of the energy stepping in already. As you can see, there are already cards laid out. I just pulled one from this Work Your Light Oracle deck, and I'm probably going to use that in the reading as well. But it just, the energy already is here. And it's like I feel like I have a lump in my throat, in my chest, so that may be how you're feeling. Or maybe I'm just getting sick. Who knows, right? It could be that too. But again, the energy of this reading is a bit heavier. It's not as lighthearted as those love readings. So we're just going to get to the gritty. We've got pile 1, which is the Smoky Quartz. We've got pile 2, which is the Opalite. And then we've got pile 3, which is the Rose Quartz Crystal. Okay, so I'll give you a moment to select your pile. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. Okay, pile 1, if you selected this Smoky Quartz Crystal, then this is your reading. So your first card we have is the Initiation. Rite of passage, you're going somewhere sacred. Now, that makes me believe that you spend a lot of time in that cave, right? Which is supposed to be healing, it's supposed to be rest, it's supposed to be recouping energy, but at this point you're kind of doing it in excess. So it feels like you're spending way too much time focusing on your healing, getting to the right space. Like you're so busy focusing on reaching a certain point that you're not living in the moment, and it's actually depleting you. So it's counteractive, right? Like it's counterproductive right now. It's not like your healing journey is not what you're expecting it to be, because you're hyper fixating on healing and right this initiation, reaching a certain level of spiritual development, reaching a certain point of knowledge, reaching a certain point of healing. You know what I mean? Just it's time to leave the cave, basically. So let me I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use, let me pull more from this deck, and then I will pull from the tarot. I'm going to pull maybe one more from this deck, and then I'm going to pull from the tarot. But right now, it's showing that you've kind of been in the cave too long, and that it's time to come out. That's what's draining your energy. So like you're constantly in a low energy, like you're constantly in the space of having low energy because you're not active enough. You may be very idle. You may not leave the house much, especially if you're working remotely. Or even in your downtime, if you still go out to work, like your downtime is spent in isolation. And granted, I understand the times that we're in. If you're watching this in real time, it's not healthy. Like you probably need some sunlight. I'm seeing you need some sunlight. That will definitely recharge you. Some sunlight, okay? What is this? Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. What did I just say to you, pile 1? Right? What did I just say? You've been in the dark too long. It's time to go outside. It's time to go out in nature. It's time to experience the world around you. Okay, I'll take the bottom. I'll take the bottom. I wasn't going to, but I will. And it says birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So if you spend all of your time healing, manifesting, all of this time in your head, in your home, it's like there's no way to live the life you want to live if you're constantly in healing mode and hibernation mode and growing mode. Let me fix this. In growing mode, there's no way to experience your manifestations. There's no way to see them come into this world if you are constantly hiding to yourself, never going outside. Okay, so but definitely get grounded. I'm seeing that you are highly sensitive. I don't really like the word empath, but we're going to use it. But just highly sensitive, very in tune with every little energy surrounding you. So I could see why the world may be overwhelming for you, why you would feel you need to be recharging as much as you are currently. But I'm telling you right now, it's not the case. Like, this isolation is actually it's actually causing more harm for you, your mental space and your energy than it would be if you were out engaging with these energies, right? Because you kind of have to learn to live with these energies. Like being super sensitive to the world around you is one thing, but hiding so that you don't have to feel the energy is another thing. And that's what it feels like you're doing. So you need to get grounded. You need to learn energetic boundaries. You need to kind of be rooted firmly on the physical plane. Because I know a lot of people that consider themselves super spiritual kind of turn their nose up at the material world, but we're on earth to live a physical experience, right? We're here to engage with other people, experience the things that are on this planet. Like, it's not about hiding in your house in the dark, away from the sunlight, away from other people, you know, denying yourself pleasures. Because I see that already here, that's something that you're doing too, because you're not grounded in your, like, you kind of turn your nose up at the physical plane to the point where you're not allowing yourself things that aren't bare necessities anymore. Like, you're allowing yourself bare necessities. Like, if you eat because you have to eat to survive. You're not eating because you enjoy food, because you enjoy the pleasure of eating. You're eating because you have to, or you won't be able to function. And that's not a healthy mental space to be in. But again, it's simply because you're in that energy, you're in that cave, right? It's like this weird initiation you have that you're putting yourself through, and it's not healthy at the point you're at, right? Which is why you have get grounded, right? Because it's saying get grounded, root yourself firmly into the physical plane so that you can experience it. Birthing a new age, right? Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being, right? It is not living in your head so much, right? Because you're manifesting in your head. You have all of these dreams, you have all of these concepts, but they're still in that cave, right? Which is why you have get grounded. So get grounded, plant yourself on this physical plane. All of these ideas you have, put them into motion. Enjoy life. Allow yourself to enjoy life and experience it. Yeah, that's a huge thing. And I didn't realize I was going to get that much from those oracle cards, but I did for you, part one. So let's see what the tarot has to say. And I do have two more oracle decks that I'd like to pull from just to get what's draining your energy and how to recharge. I hope I'm explaining this right though, part one, because I'm telling you right now, like, what's draining you isn't what would normally drain. It's not a traditional type of draining. Like, right now, it's kind of a self-sabotage situation. Like, and it was I don't think you intended to be that way, but like you feel like you're kind of suffering from depression and such, and you're hiding from life. And that's what's draining you, is you're constantly in work, heal mode, to the point where life isn't fun for you. Like, there's no fun, there's no pleasure, there's no enjoyment, because you're kind of denying yourself that. You're denying yourself those experiences. You're denying yourself even company with all of this self-isolation I'm seeing in those cards. Like, you're not even allowing yourself to engage with other people, you know, which would be healthy for you. So let me just see what the tarot cards have to say for you, part one. The Fool. So what's draining your energy and how to recharge. I mean, honestly, I don't know that we're going to get too much more about what's draining your energy, Power One, because we kind of we've established that it's you hiding from life. And now the tarot seems to be jumping right into this is what you need to do, because that Fool card mirrors birthing a new age. It's saying to go outside, like the Get Grounded card, connect with nature, right? The Fool is the beginning of the journey of the 22 major arcana cards in the tarot decks. So that's Aquarius energy, Uranus energy. It's a spark of creativity, a spark of passion, like just taking a leap of faith, going out into the world, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's gonna occur, what the outcome will be, because I'm also seeing in those cards that you do have a very fixed perspective on outcomes. Like you want to go outside in a very specific way, in a very specific manner, at a very specific time, and you have a process. Like you want things to happen in a very fixed way, and that's not life. That's not how life happens. So you kind of need to step into that full energy of being receptive and open to whatever happens and wherever the universe takes you. Okay, so really being open and just kind of going outside, and not just literally, it's a literal go outside, Power One, but it's also stepping out on a leap of faith and just trusting that the universe will provide everything that you need, as well as that life is going to flow harmoniously for you, that you're going to be able to experience pleasures and joys without constantly looking over your shoulder, worrying about what's going to go wrong, what healing you need to do. You know what I mean? So the next card you have is Four of Coins, which is hilarious because it's like Four Coins is that Get Grounded energy. So the cards are kind of duplicating themselves at this point, because like Four Coins, that's as solid of a foundation as you can get. It's like literally a house. It's like get stable, get rooted in reality, get rooted on the physical plane. I'm getting the feeling that there's a lot of things around you physically, whether it's tasks, whether it's people, you're neglecting your physical plane. And, you know, I know, like I said, deeply spiritual people that live in their head a lot, highly sensitive people forget, but you have responsibilities and obligations on this plane as well. You can't be hyper fixated on your spiritual journey, you know what I mean, the spiritual plane, your mental plane. You have physical things to tend to as well, like your physical body, right? Your physical needs. Like there's a lot that you're neglecting right now, and you're being called, like not called, yelled at to get rooted in reality, to get grounded. Okay, Power One? Because like I said, Four Coins, get grounded. The Fool is a very physical energy because it's always depicted as someone going out into the world on a journey, fresh start. And you're being called about, you're definitely being called to take a physical journey, whether it's a trip or whether it's just you being more present in the physical plane, because you have the Fool, you have the initiation, which is you're going somewhere sacred, and you also have connect with nature and birthing a new age. It's like it's feeling like going someplace. So I'm gonna pull one more tarot card and take the bottom, and then we'll get into those oracle decks. And what is that? Okay, I've got two, and I'll take the bottom. Ooh, this is nice. Let me put this down so I can get right. So we've got the Knight of Coins, which is very stubborn energy. It's very young, stubborn energy, I'm not gonna lie, which it feels like you're kind of that knight, Power One. And that's okay, because life is a journey. You're not gonna just wake up one day and be an elder, right? And then you got the Nine of Rods. Yeah, that Nine of Rods talks about you being kind of at a standstill, you being at a pause. I don't know why this is moving itself, but it is. Let me, there we go. So, yeah, like you're kind of at that, it's talking about that initiation card, that Knight of Rods coming out with that Knight of Coins, sorry, coming out with that Nine of Rods. It's basically showing that like you're very slow moving, because the Knight of of coins is very slow moving. It's the slowest night, but it also is the most certain. You're the type of person that has to have certainty with your actions, lest you become that nine of rods of making all of this progress and then making a pause right when you're reaching completion, because you're like, well, I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to pull the trigger. So you've put all of this legwork, this groundwork, and then you stop at the last minute because like you're not sure. So you have all of these uncompleted tasks, uncompleted projects, and just the anxiety of knowing that you have to finish all of this is kind of stressing you out. So that's also draining you, because again, you're not grounded, you're not rooted in reality. Okay, you're not rooted as firmly as you need to be onto the physical plane. Yeah, definitely that's something that you need to worry about. But I am looking at the bottom of this deck, and it's the Two of Elixirs, which talks about it talks about friendships, it talks about partnerships, it talks about love and pleasures. And honestly, like I'm saying, yeah, that's good, it's in frame. I'm saying right now you need to be fixated on that energy. That's the energy you need to be in, being grounded, connecting with nature, connecting with other people, possibly a little romance in the air for you. You know what I mean? Like you need to be connecting with other people. Like your call right now, how to recharge is one, go outside. Step one, go outside, get some sunlight, connect with nature, connect with the animals if you like animals, connect with other people, talk to some strangers, establish relationships if you've pushed everyone away, like maybe reconnect with some people. If those people are no longer what you want in your life, then connect with some new people. Like it's time to kind of establish those connections, because you're drained, because you're in isolation, right? You're not transferring energy the way that you're supposed to be doing on this plane, right? It's a transferring of energy that's supposed to happen. Like we're social creatures. We require human interaction. We require interaction with other energies, other beings. You can't constantly live in spirit in your head alone, right? It's not healthy. It reminds me, I think I read a while back that they were saying, like, if you took a newborn baby and just put it in a dark room, I say it, but this human into a dark room with not like they would die, basically, because it doesn't, like the child does not have what they need to kind of grow and develop. So that's you right now. That's the energy you in. You're kind of like making yourself crazy because you're constantly trying to fixate on self-improvement in a way that you're missing out on the next steps of self-improvement. Self-improvement also includes becoming more interactive with other people, knowing how to interact with other people, right? So let me pull from this oracle deck, yeah, and see what we get for you. Magic. This is a really spiritual pile, honestly, and it makes sense. Like I said, deeply spiritual people tend to like isolate themselves and hyperfixate on the higher planes and shun the lower planes, right? And the lower pleasures. But it's and when I say lower, I don't mean less than. I mean literally the density of the physical plane, right? Okay, but the magic card says the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move forward, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So you feel like the type that hyperfixates on what you're trying to manifest as well, which makes sense because you constantly live in your head. Like you live in your head, you live in spirit, you don't live in a physical plane. So when you try to manifest things, Power One, you manifest on, you do whatever you need to do, whatever your manifestation practice is, and then you kind of fixate on it. Like you start counting down the clock, you start worrying about it, you start looking around waiting for it, instead of kind of going out and living your life, because you kind of put yourself in a position to where you don't really have a life to live on the physical plane. Like, I feel like that was a conscious decision as a part of that initiation card, that rite of passage, like having to earn the right to enjoy the physical plane. And that's not how life works, okay? But right now you're being encouraged to kind of go out on that journey, go out and explore, go out and take initiative on the things you're manifesting. Because again, especially if the things you're manifesting are rooted in the physical plane, it's not going to knock on your door, right? It's not going to walk into the cave. You have to go out and get it, right? So let's pull another card. And you'll feel a lot better, because you'll feel, once you start taking more initiative, power, that's really gonna recharge you, because you're gonna feel more empowered, more in control. And the Divine Feminine card wants to come out. Okay, so the frequency of Divine Feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect with our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. And that word intrinsic is there twice on the table for you. Now, the thing about it is, Power, this, like, you may be connecting more to your Divine Feminine side. Again, we all have the duality of Divine Feminine, masculine energies within us. You may be trying to connect more with that side. But again, in being receptive, right, in being that receptive energy that is the Divine Feminine, and calling these things in, one, you have to actually be receptive, right? Yeah, I don't feel like you are, Power. You have to actually be receptive to these things, and you also have to be you also have to go out and take control. Some people mistake Divine Feminine energy for just kind of sitting, waiting. That's not the energy of the Divine Feminine. It is going out and getting things, but it's being receptive to the blessings as they come in, and you kind of are not with that cave energy. And it also shows that you may be trying to call in a soulmate of some sort with the Two of Cups there and the Divine Feminine. And like, again, that's receptive energy, especially with magic. It's like manifesting some type of love, whether it doesn't have to be a romantic connection. It could simply be just love from people, like whether friendship or just platonic, right? You have to be receptive to that energy in order for it to come in, right? That's what that Divine Feminine energy talks about. You may be hyper fixating on that energy in a way that makes it counterproductive. Ooh, okay, what is this? Consciousness. You have you're obsessed with consciousness, being conscious, being possibly being woke, being, having understanding, knowing, all those things. So the card says the frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality, right? It's asking you to be conscious. It's asking you to be conscious of yourself, conscious of the world around you, right? We're talking about how you kind of have a tendency to fixate on the higher planes of future outcomes, but consciousness is about being present, right? That Four of Pentacles energy, right? What's that card? What is it? Get grounded, right? It's about being rooted in the physical plane, right? That's what consciousness is about. So that's what you're being called to step into. And again, you're going to feel really good about it. Really good about it. Okay. So let me pull from this other deck. This is, maybe we'll get more advice. But I mean, I feel like you've been getting advice this whole reading, because I don't want to say that it's an easy fix. This is not an easy fix. I would never, I would not sit here and tell you that your trauma is an easy fix. That's not true. But it is straightforward to the point. It's a simple, like it's a simple fix. I don't want to say simple as in like easy, but it's not, there's not all these layers to what it is that's draining you. Like, it's very straight to the point about what's draining you. It's your obsession with healing, your obsession with spirituality, with living in your head, living in spirit, right? That's what it is. Your obsession with this Divine Feminine side of your healing, right? So let me get this card and we'll wrap it up. Okay. So you got number 44, home. That is, I want to say, the third energy of home. It's definitely second because you've got the 4 of Pentacles. And 4 may be a number that is relevant to you, but you have home. And I'm going to pull more cards because there's something surrounding the home. I know we talked about you needing to go outside, you leaving the home and like kind of going out and exploring a little more, but something about home is draining you. So honestly, we're talking about how to recharge, and I'm telling you to go outside, and the cards are telling you to go outside. Your home may in fact be draining you. It may be as simply put as your home, like leave your house. Pile 1. Go to the park, do something. Okay, so let me pull more to see, because it's you're getting that home, again, living in that divine feminine energy of not leaving, not going out, of sitting. And I'm not saying that that is divine feminine energy purely. I'm saying those are kind of some shadow aspects of that aspect of us, of kind of waiting, that 9 of Wands energy, right? It's like you lack the drive to complete whatever task, whatever thing you kind of start. Like you get right to the end, right when it's about to be real, and then you stop. You stop engaging, you stop adding, you stop sending energy out into it. So, oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take the bottom, but first, let me just, okay, so we got home, we got number 5, psychic development, which we talked about. You're very obsessed with developing that side of you. You've got truth. You're constantly seeking truth and trying to understand all of the things, all aspects of life in the world, in the universe. And then you have feminine energy. So you need to balance that, pile 1. That is what's draining you, is you staying too much within yourself, because home is also like your body is a temple. Home is within you. So you're too much into isolating yourself, living within yourself, looking ahead. You're obsessed with divine feminine energy and being more receptive, but in your obsession with that divine feminine side, that feminine energy, that receptive side, you're actually closing yourself off. You're like, it's like, I feel like part of your healing is healing your divine feminine side, right? Like that's what you've been hyper fixated on, is healing your divine feminine, your inner feminine energy, pile 1. And right now it's actually to your detriment. It's actually incredibly draining. You're not enjoying life. You're not even receptive. Like you're not fully embodying the divine feminine energy in a healthy way. You're kind of using that as a crutch to be passive in life. Okay, that is what's going on with you. So like, stop self-sabotaging and kind of sit with yourself. And if you're really honest with yourself, you'll realize, okay, yeah, I bet, I'm too within myself. I'm too within the home. I'm not going outside. I'm not getting sunlight. When's the last time I did something I enjoy? Right? And if I can count how many times I've done something that I enjoy, then I'm not doing enough of that, right? That's the energy for you, pile 1. And one of my candles just burned out. I don't know if you can see the smoke, but that is what happened. So just, put yourself in a space that is healthy, so that you can go outside, so that you can see sunlight, so that you can interact with people, you can engage these relationships you desire, because you're not as receptive as you believe you are. Or maybe you realize you're not receptive, and that's why you're working on your divine feminine energy. But again, I have to say it again, in your obsession with that, it's actually making you more closed off. Okay? So that is all I have for you today, pile 1. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, pile 2, you probably, I haven't done it yet, but you may want to select pile 3, because I'm realizing that, like at first I was putting that card up front as pile 2. So you may want pile 3. We'll see when I get there. If it resonates or if it called you, just, proceed as you wish. So if you selected though this opalite crystal, this is your reading. So as I was cleansing the deck for Pile 2, a card really caught my attention. I don't know what that one is, but this one is how can you mother yourself? So it's making me feel like you have issues, possibly past traumas as it relates to your relationship with your mother. And that may be draining you, or it may simply be that your mother is draining you. And unfortunately that happens sometimes. If that's the case, you probably need to put a little space between the two of you so you can heal that connection, and stop it from getting worse, right? Because it's feeling, again, the card says, how can you mother yourself? We'll see if it comes out on its own. But like I said, when I cleanse the deck with the intention of Pile 2, this ended at the bottom. So like I said, if that's the case, and maybe this is just confirmation that this is your pile if you were struggling. Okay, so I did not know this was there. So because when I pulled all, I didn't shuffle like I normally did with these. Like I just kind of shuffled the deck and then I pulled 1, 2, 3 flip face down, like I was very in control of this. So that's why we have that. So we have Grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So it is feeling like you have a lot of generational trauma, a lot of baggage, especially from the women in your bloodline that you are carrying. Okay, that's not necessarily your burden to bear. I'll say that right now, because this card is making me feel like you're carrying the weight of your ancestors. You're carrying the weight of possibly living maternal figures in your family, which I'm not gonna say that you don't, none of it's your burden. I'm saying boundaries. Because right now, especially as it relates to living relatives, they have their lives, you have yours. You know, it is nice when you can be relied on, or you can be a crutch to some degree, or you can be emotional support, but it shouldn't be draining you to the point where you're not having what you need to function in this life, right? You shouldn't be, those connections shouldn't put you in a position where you're not whole, right? Because you can only assist and be supportive in any way to anybody if you are fulfilled, if you are whole, if you have all of your needs met, right? Like how I'm gonna give you, something I don't have for myself, right? I can't be emotionally supportive of you if I'm not getting emotional support, right? I can't make sure your material needs are provided for if I haven't first met mine. And that's the perspective you're going to have to take with the mother, grandmother, maternal figure in your life, okay? Definitely the case. Because before I shuffle, star mother, right? How can you mother yourself? You got mother, you got grandmother. So just making sure. And if this is not an actual mother or grandmother or maternal figure, it's just showing that you are carrying a lot more baggage of that side of your ancestral line that you're gonna need to work through that, because right now you're just carrying so much trauma, so much of that burden generationally from these women. I'm gonna say women, because grandmother and mother in your bloodline, that it is weighing very heavy on your spirit, and it's really impacting your day-to-day life. So let me pull, I want to pull one from this, and I may take a bottom because I think that's what I did in pile 1. So let's see what's draining your energy and how we can go about recharging it. Okay, the card that stabbed me in the hand is yes. Just say yes. Now, that's two things. If you had a question on whether or not you should do something, the answer is yes. And I'm trying to word that appropriately because as it relates to that yes card, I don't want you to get in the routine of constantly saying yes like you have been, because I feel like that is the issue, right? With that mothering card, how you mother yourself, right? How have you been supportive of yourself, giving yourself what you need, right? And you know what I mean? So I don't want you to overextend, because I know that's what you've been doing, pile 2. With that, just say yes. But I feel like there's a very specific yes or no question. One specific question. The answer is yes, okay? At the bottom, we have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. So if that yes is related to soul tribe, calling in people that are more supportive of you, that is definitely your confirmation. And it's also showing that this is kind of a soul tribe energy of people coming in. This is going to recharge you. People coming in that were always meant to come in, right? The grandmother of Jesus is the laying foundations, divine planets, seeds that were planted since before you came to earth, you know, soul connections that you had before you came here. So that answer is yes. If it relates to any type of connections you're asking about, like if you have connections on mind, right, with that great gathering card, if you have questions about connections, the answer is yes, right? Soul tribe is coming in. So just know that you are going to get that support that you need. And you're not going to have to go it alone for much longer with those cards that you have on the table. So I'm going to pull from the tarot, and then I have 2 more oracle decks that I would like to pull from. This is really good energy for you because we're asking what's draining your energy and how to recharge. And the universe is telling you, Pal, that you have people coming in to support you. Like if you've been the person that's always been the support, if you've been the person that's always had to be the one to bear the burden, that always had to be the yes man, the person that made sure everybody had, you have people coming in to support you. People that align with your energy, your purpose, that are going to make sure that the energy you've been sending out, they'll reciprocate it. Okay, so let's see. But it's definitely feeling like people in your bloodline, again, maternal figures, have been draining you. And again, if it's not that, the only other half I'm seeing is that you're carrying a lot of ancestral baggage. And it could be both. It could be a lot of feminine ancestral baggage that you're carrying. So Page of Elixirs, very young energy, very much a feeler. That's you, right? Very, very, very young emotionally, right? I'm not calling you emotionally immature. I'm saying you lack boundaries. You lack energetic boundaries. Is very good for somebody to pull at your heartstrings and get you to overextend based on your feelings, pal, too. Like because you feel like you want to support people, maybe children involved, right? Like you may be overextending yourself for the sake of children that may or may not be yours. You kind of have to, this great gathering, it may be community, it feels community. So it may, like, you may be supporting family members, or you may be helping to support people that are not your family members. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's giving, that you're overextending because people are pulling at your heartstrings. You know, the page is offering a cup, like you're offering a cup that's not completely full, because the page again is very youthful energy. It's very young, and it's someone that is kind of getting there. Like they're offering a cup, but they're offering all they have, if that makes sense. Like it's when we're talking about romance, that page is offering the whole heart. You offer your whole heart to people that you care about very deeply. And it makes sense, especially if we're talking about like these maternal figures. You know what I mean? It makes sense why that's what's draining you. Yeah, you've got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man. You're feeling like it's out of your control, like you don't really have any other choice. Like that's, you just have to do what you have to do. But again, we have to make sure that we're whole before we can help anyone else, right? 5 of Elixirs is at the bottom. I want to take another one, but that talks about regret. It talks about pain. It talks about spilled milk, spilled water. It's like not having everything that you need. And it also talks about squander. It talks about mishandling opportunities. So maybe you feel like some of these people that are draining you emotionally, materially, spiritually. Okay, my neighbor's dog is barking, so maybe these people, you know, may get aggressive when you're not supporting them. You know what I mean? Like they may get hostile when you're not the emotional or material support that they feel you should be giving them. But yeah, the Hangman just feels like you feel like it's out of your control. It's out of your power. You just have to do it. I'm telling you that you don't. So let me get one more card. Okay. King of Rods. Very, very active. Very, very active. Again, that overextending energy. It's feeling like you're doing too much for other people. You're doing too much for other people. But that also talks about your action and having firm boundaries. the dog was barking, and now we have a fire card. It's like you're going to have to stand your ground when people become combative because they feel entitled to your energy, whether we're talking about your mental energy, your emotional energy, or your material energy. Okay, like your physical items, your money, that is energy. That is your energy that you work for. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you can't help other people, but it should not be what's draining your energy. The fact that it showed up in this reading shows that you're overextending, you're giving too much, and you have a very kind heart with that page of elixirs. But that eternal youth, that page of elixirs shows me that some of these people are stunted around you, and that you're gonna have to let that go. You may have to cut them off if they don't respect your boundaries. But if we're talking about ancestral baggage, then the hangman talks about not allowing it to define you, about not allowing it to restrict you, about being free, right? That king of rods is very action oriented. It's saying that I'm not going to let my trauma define me. The past is the past, the history is what it is, but I have to go out and live my life, right? I have to have an open heart and be receptive with that page of elixirs. Like, I have to be receptive to life. I cannot allow my generational trauma to hold me back, because thus you begin to continue that cycle of allowing generational trauma to affect your life, and you pass that down. You know what I mean? So that's the energy that you're in right now, Patu. So why am I shuffling? I was supposed to take the bottom of the deck, so I guess we need another card. We need another card. So Page of Rods is that card that came out. So we're just gonna put that right there. So yeah, very active, very active. Pages are messages. If messages are on your mind, that yes card, like you're gonna get a message or you need to send a message, do it, right? Because just do it. If there's an opportunity coming in, elixirs, 8 of elixirs is moving on. So if you were wondering if you should just kind of let everybody know, like, this is over with, then maybe that's what needs to happen, because you got 2 pages on the table, Page of Rods, Page of Elixirs. Those are messages relating to your feelings, your emotions, your fulfillment, messages related to your energy. Like, if you need to let these people know that they're draining you emotionally, draining your energy, like you don't have any energy after dealing with them, let them know, right? Definitely let them know. And if they don't respect your boundaries, you have that 8 of elixirs right there from Spirit saying bye. Move on, move forward, because you also have that great gathering. You have people that are more in alignment with you coming in, right? And it's unfortunate sometimes if that ends up being family members. So let me pull from this oracle deck. But you're going to be fine. Like, you don't even realize how fine you're going to be, Patu. Like, I'm telling you, you got people coming in. And with those cloaks on that card, you can't even see who these people are. Some of them may be right in front of you, right? Because they've got the cloaks on and they're all standing close in proximity. You probably already have people around you that are going to be lifelong friends, right? Lifelong connections. And you don't even realize. Okay. And I'm starting to get like a headache. I'm starting to get a little nausea that was not there before. Like, I can understand the anxiety of like having to stand up to these people. I understand the anxiety. Like, I feel like this just makes your head and your stomach hurt. Like, I just got it. Like, ooh, I didn't like that. Fertility, number 27. That may be a relevant number. It says, the frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. And the weird thing that just happened with me as I was reading that card is I don't know what it said. I literally looked at the words and I read what I saw, but I didn't like register any of that information. So I don't know if that's the life you're living right now, Pau-Tu. But yeah, and with fertility in that page, it's giving, like, it is giving children. Like, somebody may, like, you may be supporting someone that's with child or someone that has children, whether or not we're talking about yours, right? Because that happens sometimes where we assume responsibility for situations that don't necessarily involve us, So, But yeah, that fertility card is saying that it's okay for you to express yourself. It's okay for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, enjoy your emotional maturity, right? Like, it's okay for you to say, I'm in a different space. I don't want you dumping everything, all of your problems on me, whether emotional or material. That's okay for you to do. And it's also okay for you to go out and seek relationships that are more in alignment with you. Like, that's okay. But it is giving children with the eternal youth of the page, and that fertility. And pages are young energy. So again, you may be overextending yourself as it relates to children. If we are talking about your children, it's okay for you to feel stressed and for you to feel drained by your children. It just means that you need a break, right? Like, it's okay. That's a human response. You just need break. Maybe reach out to Soul Tribe. Make sure you if the grandmother energy is not the toxic energy in the spread for you, and it's your children, just know that there are maternal figures around you that if they knew, right, those pages, those messages, if they knew you were struggling with motherhood, fatherhood in that way, they would 100% support you. So just make sure that you're communicating effectively what your needs are, okay? Now it's a specific message for some of you because it slipped in. Let's see what else. Empowerment. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. So again, it talks about you aligning way too deeply with other people's traumas. And that goes for those of you that are talking about the ancestral trauma. Like, that is your ancestors. Yes, it is a part of you, but you shouldn't be living it in the present moment as fully and completely as you are. Like, you shouldn't be that aligned with it, right? We want to recognize what's happening, and what has happened, and we want to heal from it, but you should not be living it day to day as though it's present energy. And it also talks about being whole and complete within yourself before being able to be available to other people. That's an energy that you need to understand, because that's how you're going to recharge, by setting those boundaries and making sure, like, okay, this is past trauma. We don't have to deal with it today. You know what I mean? Like, this is other people's problems. I have my own problem today that I need to deal with. That's completely okay. I feel like you kind of start to feel guilty when you prioritize yourself when you need to, and that's not acceptable. Okay, so you got passion at the bottom. So like, you need to become a little more passionate about life. I feel like this draining these people, these past energies, whatever the energy you're aligning with for this pile is, it is draining you to the point where you can't even be passionate about life anymore. Okay, so we definitely need to work on that. And I'm going to pull one more and take the bottom. What is happening, pile 2? What's draining your energy, and how do we recharge you? If you haven't been drinking water, drink water, because this card jumped out and nearly knocked over my bottle. Granted, it's almost empty, but yeah. Okay, you got number 33. So you got 27, 26, and 33. Those may be relevant numbers, but it is miracle, okay? So it says the frequency of miracle. Hold on. Focus for me. You may not be believing in miracles right now. Okay, the frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as part of source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. Yeah, so you're not, like, you may be the type of person that only feels content and confident within yourself if you are in a position to help people. Like, if you're not helping other people, like, you kind of have that codependency. Like, it's a dual thing. Like, you kind of need to feel needed. Pile 2, I'm getting from you. You feel you need to feel needed, and because of that, you're overextending yourself to where you're not even getting your personal needs met, because you're overextending to feel good, right? Like, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know why I got that from that card. What does that even say? Supports our belief in this ourselves. Yeah, your belief in yourself, like you constantly needing to prove yourself to other people in the universe. That's where I'm getting at. But again, you don't have to do that. At the bottom, you've got number 10, which is authority, and it says The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. That's important. I'm going to say it again. Okay, true authority. It doesn't want to, oh, okay, you don't like that message? It's important. Yeah, you'll see it. Yeah. Whatever, I'll read it without the camera. It says, it reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. It talks about balance. It talks about giving and receiving in balance, which is something that you are lacking in POW 2. Like you're not receiving what you're giving, and you're not giving what you're receiving in certain areas. So there's areas where you're overextending and you're not getting what you receive, and because of that, I guess, bitterness in that area, you're not receptive in other places. Like you're not giving what you need to give in other spaces, if that makes sense. Like it's like you know those people that misdirect their anger and frustration, like they're mad about one situation and then they kind of take it out on people that have nothing to do with that. That's kind of the energy you live in because of how drained you are and not knowing how to recharge. But again, boundaries, that's what you need. Boundaries with your ancestry and your ancestral trauma, boundaries with your maternal figures in your life, boundaries with other people's children, boundaries with your children. You need balance and you lack it. So that's what's gonna help you recharge, is finding that balance and giving and receiving in equal amounts, right? And this is also a time for you to take inventory of the people you have around you, POW 2. Who are you constantly giving to that you're not getting in return? And I'm not talking just material, even though that is the case. I'm talking emotional, right? Mental. Because ideas are valuable. So it could be mental, right? It could be spirit. Who you praying for that's praying against you, right? Truth. And I think that came out in POW 1. So number 12. Truth. So it must be, I'm speaking a lot of truth, but it's also a lot of truth for you to acknowledge, right? A lot of truth for you to face. Be honest with yourself, how to take inventory of the people in your life and be honest with yourself, okay? Oh goodness. Okay, I just dropped a ton of cards. Can't take them all because it's like a fourth of the deck, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's see though. I'm gonna get, I guess, 2 more and then I'll take the bottom. And then we'll wrap it up. Okay, POW 2. What's draining your, I started to say who. That's how many people you have around you draining. What's draining your energy and how to recharge. This may be some hard pill to swallow because it's taken a lot for me to get these cards. I feel like this may be a card that came out as well. No, but number 33 is relevant integration. So these are people that have merged themselves into your reality. It looks like integration talks about emerging, almost like an assimilation. Like if you because of your lack of boundaries, there are people and energies around you that have merged themselves with your identity to the point where it's literally like an energy vampire. It is literally draining you because you have these attachments, right? This integration that have aligned with who you are. And you can't allow these people, I'm hearing the word causes, family members to identify as you. Because that's what's happening. That's what it looks like is happening. And you have retreat. So it's like you're going to have to distance yourself to a lot of connections because it's becoming aligned with your being to the point where it is draining, because you're more than your relationships, your connections and such. You're much more than that. But it's becoming a limitation and a liability. So let's see this last card, and then I'll take the bottom. Healing energy. So yeah, you need to heal. You do. You need to heal. Struggle. Okay. So you seem to be actively aligned with struggle. That's why you have that number 32 at the bottom. you seem to be actively aligned with struggle in a way, and that makes sense, especially if you identify with that energy of that ancestral trauma, like in your day-to-day life, because that in and of itself is a symbol of being aligned with struggle. If you day to day, like, continuously live your ancestors' traumas, like the people that came before you, or even it doesn't have to be like way like I say it seems a lot deeper, but just your mother's pain, your father's pain, your grandparents' pain, what they went through. If you're still living in that, you're really aligned with struggle in a way that you identify with it, because like you can't merge external traumas or past traumas with your present identity, because you'll never feel good. You'll never feel healed enough. You'll never be happy. Okay. So that's part of what's draining you too. So just make sure that you heal, and stop aligning yourself with struggle. Like, you can recognize, right, that truth. You can recognize an energy. You can empathize with people. You can sympathize with other people, not just past energies, but current. Like, you can see someone struggling and recognize that is sad, and that, you feel bad, without integrating, right? Merging with that person and making it your problem, right? Because just because someone else is struggling, you also are struggling in other areas. Even if you feel more blessed than the average person, like if you feel more blessed than the people around you, I'm seeing that, like, you have to give within reason, right? That emotional, mental, material support within reason, because you're not going to be able to function in life overextending in the manner of which you're doing. Okay, Pal 2? So again, stop aligning with struggle. Stop integrating yourself into situations that really are not your whole problem. Like, it's not all about you, right? You don't have to be other people's miracle continuously. You don't have to take the lead on everything. Sometimes you just need to sit back and allow people to work through their own stuff. Okay? So that is all I have for you today, Pal 2. If it resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, Pal 3, if you selected this rose quartz crystal, then this is your reading. So we're looking at what's draining your energy and how to recharge. I did not look at this card. I'm going to get to it in a second, but basically what I've been doing for the last 2 piles is I had a card I pre-selected, just pulled them from the top, didn't look at them, and then I'm going to pull at least one additional card from this deck and the bottom. Then I got tarot, and I've got like 2, I think, more oracle decks. So let's just see what's draining your energy. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? This is interesting because I told Pile 2 they may want this pile, and I think they got the yes card, and this is you have answered the call. This is interesting. This is the most interesting pile, not because it's better or anything. It's just I'm intrigued because you're drained, Pile 3, because you're putting something off. You're ignoring something. There's something you're supposed to be doing that you are not. Okay, it may be as deep as your life purpose that you're ignoring the call to. It could be as simple as something day to day you're supposed to be doing that you're just not doing, so it's throwing you off balance, right? Your routine. Some of you it is. Some of you, you're being called to add more structure, more routine into your day-to-day life. And because you haven't, your life is chaotic, right? And others of you, again, you're being called to step into your North Node, your life path, your life purpose, who you're meant to be in this world, and you're delaying it, right? But it's all about delay. You're drained because you're putting things off that you need to do. Okay, let's see what else we can get about this. And the tarot's gonna tell it because I'm trying to see what this is. So let's see, Pile 3, what's draining your energy and how to recharge. That card was gonna come out and it hopped right back in, so it's a no. It's draining your energy. 2 cards that fell out I do not want because I don't know, I don't want them. But you have dance, do something to shift your vibration. So it's all about energy, the energy you're aligning yourself with that's draining you for sure. So let's see if I can get one in the bottom. Just one, please. I love this energy for you, pile 3, because you're probably getting confirmation. If you've been confused, if your mind's been all over the place, antsy, you don't know which way is, you don't know your right, your left from your right, this is the reading you needed, okay? Because again, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. So if you are questioning your intuition, pile 2, pile 3, welcome all of you from pile 2 that came over. But if you've been not trusting your intuition, if you're questioning a decision you need to make, if you're questioning an act you need to take, if there's something you want to move on and you're questioning whether or not you should do it, again, what is your soul calling you to do? Your guidance is divinely guided, okay? And then you had at the bottom, which came out in actually I put all of the cards back when I was done from pile 1 and 2, even the ones they selected. You've got initiation from pile 1. So some of you from all the piles, which is okay. We've got initiation, rite of passage. You're going someplace sacred. So, I mean, it's a literal message. It's very direct. And I feel like pile 3, you're the type that needs messages like that. It says, again, what is your soul calling you to do? Your guidance is divinely guided. Rite of passage, you are going someplace that is sacred, okay? You're being called to go someplace. It may be a physical place. It may be a mental space. It could be anything. It could be a spiritual journey, but you're being called to do something. And because you're not making this act, you know, if you're not taking this action, it's draining you. And the only thing at this point of your life that's going to recharge you is to answer that call, okay? To take those steps. So let's see what the tarot has to say about this journey that you are on. Okay. And I feel like all of a sudden, things are a lot more quiet around me in an eerie sort of way. It's like silence so that you can hear yourself think, so that you can make a clear decision, so you can know exactly what it is you need to be doing, pile 3. So definitely, we've got one, and it's reverse. 4 of elixirs. Yes, it is the 4, and it's in reverse. So 4 of cups, which is this card, talks about being complacent, being bored, not really being engaged in a situation. It talks about rejection, like turning away an opportunity. And in reverse, there's 2 energies, 2 very strong energies coming in for you. There's something you have not yet accepted you've outgrown. There's something that you haven't brushed aside yet. There's something that you need to step out of that you haven't accepted that yet. You haven't answered the call to let it go. And there's another side that it may be both, where you're being encouraged to not reject an opportunity that's coming your way. Now, I know those are conflicting messages, because we could be talking about 2 different things. Like, you may have one thing that you need to let go, as well as be more courageous in stepping into another situation. But you're going to have to decide, like, is this something that, and that's probably the confusion. Like, you're wondering, is this something I should let go, or is this something I need to not turn away? That's the confusion, and that's what's very draining for you. So I'm hoping we can clarify, okay? Because it could be one or the other, depending on who you are. Some of you, I hope that gave you the clarity. I know some of you, it did. It was like, oh, yep, I know I need to let this go. Yeah, I don't want to be past this opportunity. But a lot of you here, I feel like that card was more confusing. It was just as confusing as what's draining you, because it's like, what does that even mean, right? Am I supposed to let it go, or am I supposed to not let the opportunity pass me by? Because some of you, it may be a new situation, right? It's a situation that's new but familiar. It's a situation that a progression, right? Like if you have a hobby that you enjoy and you kind of elevate it and now you're really good at it, but it doesn't fulfill you anymore. It's like, does it not fulfill you at this point, or is it just you need to work with it a little longer? You're trying to figure out what to do. It could be job related. It could be like, maybe if you have a new job, right? You're like, is this the career for me? Right? Like, you're wondering, should I you know, let it go, move on to something else? Or should I just, what's the other outcome? It is, should I just not let this opportunity pass me by? And the Justice card was just shown to me as I was shuffling. So it's all about balance. It's all about balance. So let me see what else I can get to clarify and cut through this energy for you. But right now the situation is very, very draining for you, not knowing how you should move. Okay. Eight of Blades. Okay, so this talks about restricting yourself and holding yourself back. Okay. So if you can ask yourself, okay, what is your soul calling you to do? In evaluating whether the situation is something you should walk away from and let it go because it's run its course, or if you should just not let this opportunity pass you by because it's an opportunity, right? You have to ask yourself, where are you feeling restricted? Where are you restricting yourself? Okay. Where are you restricting yourself? At the bottom of the deck, you have the 10 of Rods. Where are you feeling the most anxiety? Where are you feeling like your most work? Like where are you feeling the most overbearing energy? That is where you need to let it go. And I know it's easier said than done, because I'm seeing a lot of you, it's too, like there is an opportunity that you should not let pass you by. But there's also something that you're clinging to. It's like you're mistaking the one that you should let go. The one that it's time to let it go, that you haven't accepted, it's time to let go. Like you're mistaking that opportunity for the one that you shouldn't pass by. Like you're not really in tune with your intuition. Like you're not really hearing spirit clearly, because it's like you're getting the messages to let something go, but you're getting the message to not let an opportunity pass you by at the same time. And if you're not as in tune spiritually like that, that's really confusing, because you're like, so I should stay here because I don't want to let the opportunity pass me by. I'm feeling like I shouldn't let the opportunity pass me by, but you're just confusing the opportunities, right? The one that you're very stressed out in, the one that you're feeling most comfortable, the one you're holding yourself back to stay in, is the one that needs to let go. But the one that is new, that's being presented, the one that I feel like you haven't even stepped into, right? You haven't fully stepped into it, because the Four of Cups is in reverse. Like you haven't accepted it yet for it to, you know what I mean, for it to be something to let go. So the one that you need to let go is the one that you're firmly rooted in, I guess, and feeling trapped in with that Eight of Blades. Yeah, I'm trying to cut through this energy for y'all, like, because it is. I could see how this would be very stressful. Let's pull another card and take the bottom. Okay, what's draining your energy and how to recharge? I will say that once you accept that the one that you've outgrown is like it'll be a huge weight off of your shoulders. But right now you're holding yourself back. You're not quite ready with that Eight of Blades. So many cards are jumping out. Okay, so you got Five of Blades. So in you stepping out of this energy, like it feels like you're holding yourself in a situation because you feel that the fact that you've outgrown it is kind of a betrayal to somebody. I don't know who. It could be a group of people, because the Five of Blades is depicted as one person standing alone as a group walks off. Like they've won that battle, but it was like, it wasn't really a win. It was a lose-lose situation. It was a lose-lose outcome. There was no happy ending. So it's like kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face. And it feels like if you were to release yourself from a situation, you feel like you would be doing that. Like you kind of feel like you need to be stuck in this situation for whatever reason. You've got Temperance. Okay, number 14, which talks about, it talks about alchemy. I associate it with moderation. It is the card that rules, is ruled by Sagittarius energy, which is growing, expanding, Jupiter energy. So it's like growing beyond where you've been, right? That Four of Elixirs reverse, saying it's time to grow. It's time to take that next step, that next phase, that initiation into a new, like into a new situation, right? I could see how that would be really hard for you. I could see how that would be scary. It feels like you're feeling like you're going to disappoint some people with that Five of Blades. It does. But at the end of the day, Temperance talks about alchemy, transformation, you needing to do what you need to do for yourself, okay? Especially since it seems to be like that ninth house energy is that of like higher education. It's teaching, it's improving not just your life but other people's lives as well. So let's see what the oracle cards have to say. But yeah, you got a decision to make, and that's what's draining your energy. And honestly, pile 3, you're not going to recharge until you make it. You're not going to recharge until you make a firm decision, right? That 5-foot blades talks about acting, right? Even if it hurts other people, making a decision. Let me see what's happening here with these oracle cards. Oh my goodness, cards flying all over the place. I'm debating on whether or not I'm taking all these cards. It's like 5 cards. No, we're not. We're gonna reshuffle. We're gonna reshuffle because it's a lot. Then again, your pile is a lot. It is. And I understand why it's a lot for you, but I may pull another deck out and see like the steps of making this decision for you, because this is loaded, right? It's not as simple as throw everything away, right? Even though that may be what you're being called to do. Alchemy. We talked about alchemy. We've got Temperance here, and we've got alchemy number 8. And it says the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemists to perform the miracles of transmutation. So alchemy is on the table twice. Transmutation, transformation is on the table twice. So that is what you're being called to do. I don't want to cover that up. Okay, so that's what you're being called to do. Okay, pile 3, like I'm confusing the piles, so you may be picking all of the piles, multiple piles, and that's okay. But that's what the call is, alchemy. So that 4 of swords reverse, not 4 of swords reverse. Oh my goodness, I'm saying 4 of swords reverse is like opposite of healing. Like you don't need to heal anymore, go outside, which is I said in one of the other piles. And it's also talking about you're not going to be able to heal in the situation that you're currently in. Okay, even though that card is not on the table. But the 4 of cups in reverse, you not facing or accepting that a situation is kind of over. That's why the alchemy is there. And as I'm talking about healing, here we go. Okay, the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using this information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. So it talks about trusting your intuition, your senses, like listening to your body when it speaks to you, right? Interpreting how you react to certain situations, spaces, people. How do you feel when you're in certain people's presence? How do you feel when you're thinking about a certain situation? How do you feel when you're in a certain situation? Like, trust your body, trust your intuition. Like, your body is meant to respond to your environment. And if it's not responding in a positive way to your environment, then it's time to remove yourself from it, right? That's what we talk about. That's what we talk about. Numbers 8 and 29 may be relevant to you. I'm going to get one more, and I'm going to take the bottom. Okay, compassion, number 15. So the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that, let me fix this, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart into the world. So you need to have compassion for yourself, right? That's part of the energy that is draining you. You lack compassion for yourself, right? And it also seems I'm knocking everything over. It seems like you're kind of lack compassion for other people to a certain degree. Like there's certain people, very specific people from that Five of Blades and that compassion card that you're not extending that to them. That's a specific message. So, but at the bottom you have realization, and it says the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. Lots of heart chakra energy here because of all of the green on the cards. Again, there's yellow too, so there's that solar plexus energy. Again, as we talk about alchemy and realization, but that realization card is talking about you answering that card. It's answering that card, transforming your mentality and your approach to life with that alchemy and temperance card, like healing and extending compassion to yourself, that grace to yourself, that sometimes you just outgrow situations, right? There's a lot of time left. I'm going to use this healing oracle, which is hilarious. There's number 22 transformation at the bottom after I cleanse the deck. So I'm going to pull from that, and if I have more time, I think I'm going to pull from that other oracle deck that I have on the table, just because I want to give you more information. I feel like your pile had a lot going on. Okay, so divine timing, look at that, number 30. Okay, pile 3, that may be a relevant number, but divine timing is simply the right time to do a lot of the things. Like if you've been delaying something, I'm telling you, if you've not been answering the call, it is the time. The time is right now to answer that call. That's really what it boils down to. Divine timing, it's time. So I got number 40, which is retreat, which aligns with that healing. Like if you need to pull yourself back just to think about it, you know, think about what it is you're doing. Take that, but don't dwell, right? Don't hide. But it also talks about divine timing, retreat, right? The time is now to pull back, right? The time is now to pull back. So I'm going to pull one more, and I'm going to take the top, and I definitely think we're going to have time to pull from that other deck that I'm looking at, because I want to see what it says. Okay. Feminine energy and abundance. Okay, so pull back your energy from that situation that is draining you, that very specific one that you're being called to step out of. Answer the call into what you're supposed to step into. Be more receptive to it. Feminine energy, right? Divine timing, retreat. Feminine energy at the bottom. You have abundance. Number 13. So abundance. You got plenty of abundance coming in. If only you would pull. Retreat talks about you not having the space for the blessings that are trying to come in because you're holding on to that past energy, that Four of Cups reverse. Like because you're holding on to that, you're not going to be able to receive, you know what I mean, that energy that's trying to come in. So that's why you're being called to let that go, to make space for all the blessings that are coming in for you, okay, in this new era. So I am going to grab this deck, okay? And you got, if you've been living a messy life, pile 3, it's time to clean up, because I just split that deck, and you got chop wood with the broom and dustpan and all that. And you also have clean it up. So Spirit says just clean it up. That'll help you, like you're being called spiritually to clean up your life, right? Get rid of all of the things that no longer serve you. But like in that, like one of the things that will help you be able to understand what you need to do, that'll clear your mental space, is to clean up around you. Like everybody's all like, oh, burn some sage, clear the energy. Like I don't think a lot of these people realize, just clean your house. Like if you would just get the broom and the dustpan, like if you would just clean up, like that clears energy. So that's what you need to do. You need to clean up. If you've been living a chaotic life, we're all guilty of it at one point or another, you need to clean up. So that'll help you see clearly the life that you're living and that you're being called to step into. So let me see what I get from this deck from you, pile 3. Ooh, and listen, if this isn't, I see it, like I see the blessed card. Like it's not, like it's splitting. right here, and you have the blessed card. I'm not putting it on the table because it's kind of cheating, but you have Treasure Island, you have Poised. I'll just throw them here. At the bottom you have Observer, but I want to pull one more and then take the bottom. Ooh, this is very, very good energy. Are you the pile with all of the 33s? Okay, so if you came from the pile with all of the 33s, you have 33 again in reverse, which is good because that card in this deck is Chaos and Conflict. So right now you have Chaos and Conflict in reverse. You've got number 51. Look at that, Milk and Honey. So there's so much positivity coming in, so much abundance that I covered up that card. Like you have Treasure Island, Poised, Abundance, Milk and Honey. So there's so many good things coming if you could reach the point of letting go what's causing you that stress, whatever that situation is. If you could release that and just be more receptive to what you're being pushed into, because you're being pushed into something, right? If you could do that, I feel like I want one of these tea leaves. So I pulled out this tea leaf deck with no intention, with intending to use it, and I didn't. But anyway, I pulled a random card from it just now. Tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead. So that's a message for you. I don't know why I'm pulling so many cards for you. I'm seeing April is going to be a relevant time period for you. You're just getting all kinds of decks that the other people didn't get. You've got key, successful outcome to your problems. So again, I didn't put April down, but it feels like April may be relevant for you. And now I'm just pulling random cards to get you something because like I don't know what's going on with you, pile 3. You have so much going on, but I promise it's gonna be okay. I promise. It's just you're at a transitional phase and you don't do well with change, and you're being called, poor thing, to change. Okay, you are. And I keep seeing Cane, which says pay attention to your health. Definitely do that. And you have Flute, which is disappointment in a friend or lover. Some of you. Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna stop dragging this out as you appear to be doing with. I think I'm so in tune with the energy, like I'm dragging out the reading now in a way that you're kind of dragging out the situation. So I'm just gonna cut it off. Okay, so I hope this resonated, pile 3. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.